You're listening to the vidEOS podcast with myself, the cryptopickle, and my co-host, Cody from KVR. This is episode 1 with Crystal Rose, the CEO of SenseChat. Hope you guys enjoy. We're here with Crystal Rose, the CEO of SenseChat. So if you can just give a brief description of what SenseChat is for those of them who aren't familiar.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. SenseChat is a social messenger that is crypto enabled. So we are changing the game of messaging using blockchain.
So can you explain to a casual user why you would need an encrypted messaging service?
Yeah, first, I just want to stop you there and say that we don't use the word user ever because there are only two industries in the world that call their customers users, and that is illegal drugs and software. Um, Today, every major platform is using their community and they're using them for profit. So, one of the biggest things for us, and the reason that we're an encrypted messenger, is to protect your privacy, which we think privacy is an inherent human right. It's not a privilege. It's not something you have to beg for. It's something that you deserve. And that's the underlying technology. But on the surface, the thing that's most important to us is that the person who is participating in the community with the software is actually earning part of the rewards of that system. But the biggest fundamental flaw that we have today is that these huge incumbent social platforms are just creating a product out of us. We, the humans, are becoming users and we're becoming habitual, addicted people who are doing nothing for ourselves in benefit. We're just, we're following these intrinsic likes and hearts as our main resource, but it doesn't have any actual real world value. So SenseChat is one of the Web3 products. We are in the new world of the web where we are rewarding the users for being a part of the product and the system. And so there is no more user. Actually, the people who are being rewarded are just humans and their community. And that's what we really want to change.
So those rewards are with the Sense token. Can you talk about the little tokenomics?
Yeah, we're really excited about this because it's all an experiment. Creating an economy around something that everyone plays with or uses as a tool, a utility every day is really exciting and new. And a lot of different tools are coming out that you'll see as competitors. The alternative to YouTube, the alternative to Facebook, the alternative to Twitter. We're the alternative to WhatsApp. And just by being a participant in the system, you can earn tokens or mine them. The reason that we do this is because every day that you go and you press that button, we're validating that you're a real human. We're keeping the bots and the spam out. So SenseChat is a messenger with no BS, no bots and no spam.
That's what we need.
Yeah,
Have
we're
you,
we're we're creating a virtuous economy, and the goal is really for the tokens to be mined, but also to be used. So when you do things like create content channels, you can put tokens back into the system. When people join your channel, they have to spend tokens. If you want to upvote content, it transfers a token. And by doing this, we reduce the low quality, we increase the high quality content, and we make sure that people are always real.
have you watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix yet?
Of course, which is why we're so passionate about it. That was a really big inspiration, as well as a lot of the other great documentaries. The Great Hack was a good one that exposes the fundamental flaws in the algorithms and how they're manipulating society. If you can change a presidential outcome based on manipulation through advertising, that's a really powerful thing. So, that was where we had the inspiration to remove the word users and start to treat our community like people. And eventually, hopefully, the platforms all do that. You should be rewarded for your time and your content and your contributions.
For sure.
Definitely. So to go back to the Sense token, the tokenomics. In crypto, we talk about something called decentralization, and decentralization is pretty much it's a buzzword, but really what it means is how secure do we feel participating in this network? Can you talk about the Sense token and what makes it uniquely secure?
Sure. Decentralization is such a great word and something that we've been striving for several years now. We started as this decentralized messenger, actually. Since chat was in 2017, we were the first messenger to use the blockchain connection to connect two people with no username or identity, no phone number, no email. It was just purely your public keys on the blockchain, on the EOS blockchain, and to do a video and an audio chat. So no other platform has done this today. And we wanted to stay completely decentralized, meaning there is no central control, there's no central server. Everything that is in data goes on your phone, but we encrypt it in transit so that it can't be intercepted. And we wanted to have nodes on the network. But just like a lot of the other platforms, we found inherent issues with like fully distributing the system. So we decided we'd not put it on Amazon and not put it on Google and make sure that things are running on servers that are not centrally controlled by the large incumbents, but that we would, as a company, still manage it, at least for now. So decentralization is definitely a goal of ours on the platform level. On the token level, though, that's more achievable. So Sense token, we have about 1.8 billion tokens in supply. 650 million of those belong to what we call the Sense DAC. So that's a decentralized autonomous community that we intend on letting be governed by the larger community that wants to participate. So all of those tokens will be distributed, and that's part of the system. You can earn, you can mine, but also eventually we're going to put in a governance layer. So whoever is participating in the system can actually vote on how those tokens are used, even if it's, spending them to go on a major exchange, whatever that community consensus is, that's how they'll be used.
I love that about crypto. Definitely puts the users are just in control of everything. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. The community really should decide if they're the ones that are pushing forward the platform. They're the ones that are creating and using it the most.
Right. So was there anything in particular about EOS that made you choose EOS?
Well, of course. So we actually started on Ethereum. We started building a product called CryptoDM. We had a web browser plugin for Chrome. We were working on an app, and the whole idea, it was actually connected with Telegram. So we were the first to put crypto into Telegram as well. And the whole idea was that on Telegram you just get like flooded with unsolicited messages. Like you have just all these people that you have no idea, and some of them have your own name. They're like, "Hey, do you want to buy crypto? From Crystal Rose?" And you're like, "Man, this is just getting out of control." So what we thought was, what if you could put a paywall on your inbox? And so we put Ethereum in the middle of that, and so you could pay Ethereum. It would go into a bot called CryptoDM. It was a crypto direct message. And, when you see that you have a direct message attached with crypto, you're like, yeah, I'm more likely to open that message. I would rather have a message that comes with crypto attached to it. So that was the first starting point of our direct message system. And then we found, the inherent problems with Ethereum. It is slow depending on the network usage, and it's expensive. It just has gas fees. So that's when the EOS white paper was out, and I had already known the team from before. I actually was with Brendan Bloomer when he was pitching, early days of the 10-slide pitch deck, talking about Dan Larimer's new project. And so I've been following along for a long time. And when it started to come out, we joined as a Genesis node. So I created a block producer called Shios. It was famously the only all-women block producer to start. And so we had 10 women. We were entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, just women in crypto who were doing big things. And we helped launch the network. So I got really involved with it because I wanted scalable, programmable, amazing software, something to build a DApp on. And we built on EOS, which is our first product. Sense Chat version 1 is actually now called EOS Chat. It uses the EOS blockchain to connect one account to another. We allowed people to create accounts. So we had 60,000 accounts right out of the gate. But, if you are familiar with the way that EOS works, you don't have gas, but you have RAM and you have CPU costs. And so we were spending about $2 per account for every user that signed up. And it was a little unscalable as well. And we started to figure out that chain also carried problems, like having to have every account loaded with enough RAM and CPU to be able to process the transactions. So, I still love EOS inherently, but I think that there is likely another evolution that's coming.
Yeah. I feel like people compare EOS to like the 3.0 or whatever of like blockchains, but I feel like we're still so early. It's bound to get better.
Yeah, the internet's always evolving.
Right.
I'm curious to see how Ethereum 2.0 does, but it's been in progress for so long, and I'm still thinking the models have to keep changing. But we were closer with EOS, and I still really appreciate the chain. The Sense token is based on the EOS blockchain, and we have no intentions of changing that. And EOS is the first blockchain attached to SenseChat 2.0. The difference is we're going to put as many chains as we can into SenseChat 2.0 now, because out of the 7,000 tokens that are out there, we want people to be able to use them in their own communities. So we'd love for that to just be a more inclusive messenger and not just restricted to the EOS blockchain.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about how you mine tokens, sense tokens? Like if I wanted to get involved, would it be better if I went to an exchange and tried to buy them, or would I have more success mining them?
We would definitely have more success earning the tokens today. We call it mining because you can unlock the tokens from that DAC that I talked about, and so the tokens can be distributed to you. But you don't have to use any resources on your computer. You don't have to use any resources on your phone. They're literally just being distributed through an algorithm. We have what we call a sense score. So the more you do on the platform, the higher your score gets. You never see the score; it's not exposed to you, but we show it to you in an earning rate. So some of our participants are earning thousands of tokens a day right now, and it's very exciting. But we're still working on how the algorithm is going to distribute tokens in the future. The most of the tokens are going to be distributed in these first few months, and the earning rate is going to start to go down, kind of like the Bitcoin halving. So if you want to mine the tokens today, getting on the app as soon as possible. All the beta users are the earliest people who are at the highest earning rates. And what we're doing is we're calculating the usage so that you can continue to make the system virtuous. If you send people tokens or pump their content like upvote, if you start a channel, the more content that you post, it's basically as if Facebook were giving you a rev share in all of your content creation. If every time you were going on Facebook, they were just calculating your usage and they were paying you for that time, that's the model that we're doing with SenseChat.
I think you might have actually answered my question on Twitter like a couple days ago. I said there should be a feature where you can search in the channels bar, because I was scrolling through and I was like, wow, there's a lot more channels than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah, definitely coming. We have restricted a lot of features during beta just so that we can kind of keep the throttle on. But all of the things that you expect from a basic messenger are part of the roadmap, and they're definitely there. The biggest part for us, though, are the communities. We want to give people a chance to move their community from Telegram and have a better experience. So that was the number one thing, is our frustration with how the crypto community was going in Telegram. The number one thing we wanted to do is give every single token project a better experience with a higher quality community, better curation, and be able to actually reward people in their own token. So the first project coming on board that's a true partner of ours is Acoin, and that's Akon's project that's launching soon. We're the official messenger of Akon City in Africa. So that's his project that's now $6 billion funded. It's a really big project and super ambitious, and going to be a completely digitally connected city that uses the Acoin token. They're making a very big progress in Africa. And so that's where a big community of ours is going to be. And once we have launched with Acoin, we'll move on to other tokens. So we'll see how it works with Sense token and with Acoin, and then we'll start to let other communities use their own token. And that's sort of the best possible thing you can do if you have a project that has a token attached to it, is give your community a way to earn and spend that token.
Definitely.
I think, like you said, community ownership is so big, and I definitely can see the vision as far as how Sense is trying to accomplish that. In your view, what direction do you see SenseChat going in the next, I'll say, 1 to 3 years?
Well, I would love for SenseChat to be the community messenger that people think of first when they think of a Web3 product, when they think of the evolution of where things are going. And that's part of the reason that we spent so long on encryption and on making it secure out of the gate. We looked at our competitors, we looked at who's in the market today. And one of the things about Telegram is it's not actually encrypted by default. You have to enable a secret chat. So your groups are completely unencrypted. Your peer-to-peer one-to-one chats are completely unencrypted. We thought that was a flaw. So we wanted to bake the first layer of technology with as secure as you would expect if you're in crypto. Like we have very high expectations as people who understand things like private keys and keeping our data secure and private. But we also wanted to let people know we don't intend on taking your data and doing something with it. We don't want the data. In fact, your data belongs to you just like your private keys. Like you need to keep it to yourself. And that is not our business. So that was something that was really important to us. Whereas every other major platform today is mining your data as if that's the gold. And that's why we don't want the users to be users. We don't want you creating a habit just for the sake of us tracking you and then brokering your privacy on your behalf, but pocketing the funds. That's not our business. So what I would really like as an evolution is for SenseChat to not just be a messenger that replaces your day-to-day back and forth peer-to-peer messages, because also there are great tools. I really like Signal. I think if there's any very secure encrypted messenger that you should be thinking of today, Signal is a really good one, and I'll never stop using that platform. But that's why I want to move us to the next level, which is where do you go to share your content? Where do you go to share your secrets? Where you have crypto tips, or where you have things that you want to share with your community? And can you get a community that pays you? We want people to be subscribers. We want your biggest fans to be following you on that channel. So that's where SenseChat comes in. You can still use Twitter for all of your, public feeds. You can still use Facebook for your family, but we want SenseChat to be the place where you curate content and your truest fans come and reward you directly.
Yeah, that's pretty important. I feel like a lot of people that aren't like in crypto are just starting to come along for the privacy ride. I feel like it wasn't very important until like pretty much now.
Yeah, I just had a friend tell me last night that she deleted Instagram after watching The Social Dilemma, and she had a great Instagram. I'm like, man, you had a really big following, but she realized that there's no value other than the likes, and you're sort of getting all your dopamine from seeing how many people are looking at your posts. But that's it. That's as far as it goes. Unless you are a person with a product. If you're a person who's leveraging ads, you have a product to sell, you're probably doing really well. You're probably doing well on Facebook. You're probably doing well on Instagram. If you have something that you're promoting
Right.
and that you're selling.
So as far as partnership goes, I know you mentioned Akon earlier. Do you guys have any other partners?
We have a lot of the early communities on EOS, which is really great, like EOS Nation, who've been on board since the beginning. I think we'll have a really good following from anybody that's been in the EOS ecosystem. And we're bringing on partners in different realms. So Akon is the first person who's really traversed the two sides of things. He's in crypto, but he's also a really large celebrity and musician. So he has this incredibly big normal following. It's not the people who are sort of in the crypto bubble. So we're hoping to have more partners like him. And we announced him with a press release. We'll announce the other ones as well soon. So they're all in the works. But this is our opportunity, not just us, not just SenseChat, but for the industry in general to start to open up to the broader consumer market. And these movies are so helpful because people are just looking for other solutions.
Right.
So if you have any partners for us that you're thinking of, we'd love to chat with them.
I don't know. We're pretty small in the crypto community right now.
Well, we need people outside the crypto community. We're looking
That's
for
true.
musicians and just in general people who are really interested in crypto. Even the word crypto I think needs to change. Like if we call it digital money, how many more people would just jump on board with us?
Yeah. Like NFTs too. I don't think NFTs are going to be called NFTs for much longer. I think they're like when they're in-game items. I think their NFT is going to go away. I think.
Yeah, I mean these
Sounds better.
collectibles. Collectibles is good. I like calling them nifties.
Nifties. That works.
A couple of companies are out now using that.
It sounds cool, but it sounds kind of old at the same time. I don't know.
Nifty, yeah.
It sounds like something my granddad would say.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of square.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I like collectibles. I think it's great. I collected a lot of collectibles on the Ethereum blockchain that are just kind of like sitting dusty over in a MetaMask wallet somewhere.
So, I mean, I think Cody, you just froze for a second.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
Connection cut out for a second.
Internet.
Gotta love it. So one thing I wanted to ask you is, so obviously, Sense Chat on its surface, I think is pretty easy to understand. If you understand like the benefits of having, the privacy and the messaging. But what's something that you think oftentimes gets overlooked, and something that Sense Chat can offer that oftentimes people don't see right away until they start actually using the platform?
I think the number one thing for me is the the token features in general are overlooked because people are thinking about it as a traditional messaging system or as a traditional content platform. So once we start utilizing the tokenomics of each of these platforms, and this is everything that's happening now with a token component to it. So even like a platform like DLive is a streaming platform. They're competing with Twitch, but they have a token involved instead of the sort of digital rewards that don't really have an intrinsic value, or the ones that are paid for to the platform. I think that's going to be the biggest adoption curve, is when people are like, wait a minute, I have a token that's worth a dollar value, and you're asking me to transfer this to do a like. I'm not really sure how I feel about taking that out of my pocket and putting it into somebody else's pocket. But Reddit did a great job with Reddit Gold. They originally, the karma points were the biggest thing. I just need the points. And then they implemented Reddit Gold, and people were buying not a crypto, just this centralized, digital. I don't even know if you can call it a digital good, but whatever it is, they buy a subscription pack to send somebody a reward, which is not something you can exchange out. Today, these rewards are something you can exchange out. So you can go and put them on an exchange. You can trade Sense tokens for EOS. You can trade EOS for Ethereum, whatever you want. And I think that's the biggest adoption curve. The biggest thing that's going to be overlooked at this onset is the way the token economy works. I think we're going to have to get a Kickstarter under that.
So you guys are available on new decks. Do you have any other listings? I don't know if you can talk about that, but do you have any plans for that?
Yeah, well, right now the exchanges that have us are the decentralized exchanges, obviously, and we're on a few others like Batika and La Token. We have had conversations with large exchanges, and we're not at this stage participating with their fees. And what we've heard recently from talking to a few is that exchanges like Binance are now picking up projects that have traction, that have a community, and they're listing them without charging them, the $1 or $2 million. So it's really nice to see that we have an opportunity, as long as the community keeps backing us, as long as people keep earning the tokens, then an exchange like Binance will list us. And we at our core, we've always held on to not participating in what I think is a very extractive model, where the exchanges are hitting up these token projects for that much money. It's at least hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if not millions. And I think that model is unsustainable, because they also, they throw market makers behind it for some time, but if you look at the historical projects, the ICOs that did hit Colby and all these other major exchanges, they still lost 95% of their value. So I'd rather get it into a place where we have a very thriving token economy, and then you see us hit a major exchange. And right now, you don't really want to be getting into these projects, taking the tokens, and then immediately exchanging them, because you'll just put downward pressure on the price.
Right.
So the goal would be for people to earn them, keep them, have the value grow, and really be using the tokens so that we have value created out of volume and out of usage and eventually out of demand. That's the bigger goal, and eventually we will let people buy the Sense tokens inside of the app as well, but only when we give them a connection outbound, because we want to make sure that you understand that you can take your tokens elsewhere.
I remember a long time ago for the version 1, I actually made a YouTube video about cents, and somebody ended up sending me like 400 cents. I was pumped.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Yeah, so the Sense 1.0, which is now EOS Chat, has a wallet that has all different types of EOS tokens in it, and eventually we will let you connect those two things. We're working on doing it with very minimal fees, but also giving people the opportunity to take those tokens into a real EOS wallet and get them off the platform if they want to. We just need to make sure that we have more good community members than like farmers on the platform.
Oh yeah, from the ground up's the way to go.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. This is the thing is wherever you allow tokens to have some sort of faucet, there are going to be people that try to just hack that, and get them as much as possible.
Right. That's why it's kind of nice. People like me that really don't have any money, I'm mining cents right now for free.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're going to the platform every day, and if you find it useful, it's even better. But what we really want is for CryptoPickle to have a channel, and for that channel to have content, and hopefully you're cross posting from other platforms, and also you're putting unique content because you want people to go there knowing that that is the only spot that they can get something. And then we're seeing these pumps. I've seen posts with 9,000 tokens as a reward on the pumps. So it is thriving, and we have actually a lottery. Well, don't say that word in crypto. We have a game channel where you can go and you can pump a post, and then they will randomly distribute the tokens to one of the people who's in that list. So there are a lot of different ways that people are starting to use the system, and I think eventually we can have a marketplace inside of chat. That's the bigger goal. Like take the collectibles, put them in as stickers, do something with them. My crypto kitties are just sort of sitting, doing nothing. Like at one point, I spent some time trying to like mate them, get them a date, put them on Twitter so that somebody would come mate with my kitty. Maybe I could make a little bit of
Hilarious.
Ethereum. But it was really weird because you're just taking a screenshot of this blockchain asset, and it didn't feel to me like I had ownership of it, and it still doesn't. So I think that's if you talk about where is Sense Chat going, we would love to be a marketplace for assets, whether that is a token or that is a collectible, nifty, or whatever we want to call it. We would love to have people be able to use these things as stickers, show it off, and put a buy button on it.
We had someone else on our Earwax podcast. He's building a tool called Collectabot where you can show your wallet or like all your nifties like inside the chat too. So I feel like you guys could maybe partner for that.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, we would love to. It's definitely on our roadmap and something we've been thinking about a lot because if you can enable tokens, you can enable any asset. And, I feel like right now we're very segregated into lots of wallets all over the place. And it feels like I don't really have one solid place, where my collectibles are going right now or anything. If a token is a collectible.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, in the real world, you only have like one wallet, right? You have all your cards, you have your cash, but in crypto, you have a wallet on every platform.
Yeah, a universal wallet will be huge for the whole world.
Yeah, well, I think few are trying that, but I don't know. Have you seen any wallets that are good that are getting close to that promise?
I saw one like screenshot. I think it was from a bank, unfortunately, but it had like a pie chart, and it was like this is what our future wallet looks like, and it was like everything. So I don't know. I
Oh
mean,
man, when the banks get on board.
yeah. So hopefully someone in crypto makes one eventually, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
This is where the word decentralized comes in really useful. Facebook's like, we're going to make Libra. Don't worry, you'll all have crypto soon. We're not going to give you the details of what that means. Just know that you'll have crypto.
That didn't play out very well from what I've seen.
And they're still working on it.
Yeah, legislation has been a big thing in this space. Have you guys run into any hurdles as far as legislation, or is there anything that you possibly see that could be coming to the crypto space that you guys are paying particular attention to?
Man, it's so amazing to see what countries are doing with crypto. And like Russia just imposed a limitation on its citizens, or is attempting to, where I think it's something just under $9,000 is how much you can buy of crypto every year. And it's like, why would a country restrict your access to an asset like that? To me, and watching all these countries hurry up and scramble to make their own national currency so that they can push Bitcoin to the side and make sure people don't have access to something that's actually decentralized, global, and useful, and instead impose their own, yet again, centralized, very similar to fiat system. So to me, the global economy and what regulators are doing right now is just crippling our ability to have an actual globally connected, scalable, decentralized solution, which is what the whole purpose of crypto is. And that part has been the weirdest to me. But internally, just in the U.S. where we're based, we've had very big scares recently, thinking of these potential bills and acts that are going through Congress. Namely, the first one that is the worst would be the Earn It Act, which essentially prevents encryption in the United States. So this is not directly related to cryptocurrency. However, most of us are building large platforms that include encryption. And the government is basically saying, well, if we get our way, you are required to give us a backdoor into your encryption, no matter what you're encrypting. It doesn't matter if it's somebody's email, files, chat messages, whatever it is, we are going to have access because encryption is now deemed illegal, essentially. That's a very shortened version, but that's the Earn It Act. So that's in Congress right now, hopefully getting thrown out soon. But these are things that we've been threatened with for many years. I'm on the pulse of that one because it would deem what SenseChat is doing as illegal. We'd have to leave the country.
Yeah, it's awful for the U.S., even like jobs here and stuff like that.
Well, and every exchange left. I mean, if you were in crypto for any amount of time before 2018 or 2017, you had full access to everything. And then all of a sudden, all of your favorite tools were like, if you're in the US, you better take out your crypto in the next 2 weeks because we're shutting you off, and then everybody's like, okay, what's the best VPN that I can start to do? And all of a sudden, I feel like I'm in China.
It's so bad, honestly. I always say getting in crypto in 2016 and 17 was the golden era of crypto because I still have like my Binance wallet, which I'm an American, but I have a Binance wallet and I can't even, tell other people, hey, go get a Binance wallet because they're going to have restrictions on them. They're not going to be able to do it as easy as I can do it. So, or I did it. So yeah, it's definitely, I feel like getting worse for Americans to participate.
You can use Binance US, and KYC AML is real. It's super real. We are a definite identified person, which is not a bad thing. Obviously, there is a lot of use for that. But when it comes to the original core of Bitcoin, which, happy birthday, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now 11 years old. Oh my God. But that was not the purpose. That was not the point. The point was not so that I could be a known identity attached to a transparent ledger. The ledger system works like the Swiss banking system. It only fundamentally works if an identity isn't attached to the wallet. I don't want the whole world, or at least the IRS, like looking at the entire transaction history of my Bitcoin wallet. That was not the original intention. We can have a transparent ledger, but we have to have anonymity, or at least pseudo anonymity, for it to work. And if you're attaching my identity and you have that stored in your database and you have a history of being hacked because you're a stupid centralized system and encryption is now illegal, none of that is fundamentally working in the way that it was intended. So I think the government has a really good sense of breaking innovation.
I agree, unfortunately. So we're running out of time again, unfortunately, but is there anything you want to shout out, like your Twitter or anything like that before we head out?
Yeah, I would love to chat with everyone on SenseChat. My handle there is @Crystal. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole with me and find me on other places, Twitter @CrystalRose, and you'll find SenseChat there too @SenseChat. We still love all of our favorite and familiar centralized tools, but we're really excited for people to try something new, get rewarded for their time. So, come and play with the beta with us. I'd be really happy to chat with you there, and we can make sense together.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was really fun chatting with you.